What is up, guys? It is JZNES, closing out 2019 in 2020 of all times to close out 2019. I'm doing it now because I didn't think this until just now, but I wanted to recap kind of the games that I played this year. Not necessarily the games that came out in 2019, but I've got 20 of the games that I played this year that I thought were really good that I completed. Well, not all of them were really good, but the games that I completed this year, basically. And we're going to go over those today. And like I said, they're not necessarily games that came out this year. There's like 4 or 5 of them that came out this year, and the rest are games from other years. So let's get into it. These are the games that I played this year, and these are the ranking that I'll put them in. So out of 20, kind of. You'll see. All right, so first we're going to start off with some honorable mentions of games that I didn't actually finish, I guess, this year, or that, that I'll just want to talk about honorable mentions. So first of all, we've got wait, this isn't the one. Where's the other one? Oh, man. Well, this will stand in for, I didn't even play this game this year, but Duel Academy is this one. The other game that I was trying to pick up, I guess I picked up the wrong cartridge, is Yu-Gi-Oh! 2004 edition, which is like kind of a terrible game in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh! Games because of two games that I'll kind of talk about here in a second that were kind of before them. But it was just like a really odd game because of how you unlocked packs and how you unlocked like cards and stuff. It was just like you had to have certain cards, and you had certain cards in your not in your deck to like unlock certain players to unlock certain packs. And the other games that I'm going to talk about later, all you had to do was fight people, and then eventually you would get the packs, and then that was it. But this is like you have to have like obscure conditions to like unlock stuff, which is really dumb. So I never really finished that. I got like halfway through until I realized that it's 2004, not Duel Academy. I hear this one's actually good, so that's why I bought it. But yeah, so that's an honorable mention of a game that I played this year but didn't beat. And then I just wanted to briefly talk about Dragon Quest XI because I know I did a video about that forever ago, but I didn't actually get around to like more than like 5 hours of the game or something until just now. And I'm playing this like currently. This is a game that I'm playing right now, so I didn't really get to finish it in 2019, but man, this is really good, and this really would have made probably a very high spot on the list because I'm really into it. I didn't think I was going to be as into it as I am now. I think that they really hit their stride about like kind of right after the part where when I played before. I don't think it's as good as Dragon Quest VIII, but it's certainly up there in the pantheon of Dragon Quest games. And I'm definitely glad I got around to playing it. I'm glad I've got it on the Switch because this version is actually really good. So wanted to mention that because I love that and I've been playing that. So, and then I just want to give a shout out to my girl Hat in Time. Rated T for teen. What? For what? Oh, blood and fantasy violence? Where was there blood in this game? Okay, they're trying to say that the train scene had blood or whatever when it's fake. It's ketchup. It's ketchup, guys. Did you play the game? What is it? Was it him? Is it Youngtown? Is he the problem? No. I don't know. Why is it rated T for teen? That's so stupid. But anyway, Hat in Time. It came out on Switch finally. Oh my god. I think I ranted about this in some other videos or something, but it's finally out. I haven't even opened it yet, but me and my friend Jameson are going to play this version, and I guess I'll have to be the new character that's not Hat Girl or whatever with the multiplayer. So I'm so glad that this came out. I'm so glad that I got this. It's so awesome. All right, so that's another game. Just want to shout that out. Not that I even like played that this year at all. I never touched it this year. I just wanted to kind of shout that out because it was cool that came out this year. All right, let's get to the first game. So the first game, the 21st game that is, in terms of like my favorites of the year, is Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes. Now, I'm wearing the shirt, so you're like, oh, clearly Twin Snakes or some Metal Gear Solid game would have to be higher. But you're wrong, sir. Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes is all the way at the bottom. I just love this shirt because my friend gave it to me this year. So, alright, Twin Snakes. I already did like a big ass video. This is like my first really big video, like a 55-minute video comparing it to, on some days, my favorite game of all time, Metal Gear Solid 1. I should have that sitting here. Actually, I kind of do, but you'll see later. My favorite game of all time, on some days, Metal Gear Solid 1. Most days is Tomba. It's really between Metal Gear Solid 1 and Tomba, and then Metal Gear Solid 4 is like a close third. It's like, it's almost like a second place, but it's like a third place because you have to like put one and two, because there's 3 games there. So, Twin Snakes, it's fine. It takes a lot of the elements of the first game and kind of throws them out the window. The music's different. The gameplay is obviously different. The gameplay is good, I would say, for the most part, but there's certain parts that aren't as good. It's a pros and cons kind of thing. You got to really watch my video to kind of get the full grasp of everything, because I kind of put everything in there into that video. But it's just kind of a mediocre remake of what I would say is like a classic game, and a game you could still probably go back and play in 2019, and it would still be, 2020 now. You could go back and play it in 2020, and it would be still a really good game. So, yeah, I would say that is my number 21 game. It is the least good game I played this year. It's an okay game. I wouldn't say it's amazing or anything, but it's pretty good. All right, next game is The Girl and the Robot. Hold on. It's not going to get much better than that. I reviewed this game as well. I reviewed Twin Snakes as well, but I reviewed The Girl and the Robot. It is kind of an indie game. It was like from 2017, and I saw it in this GameStop one day, and it was like $20, and I'm like, man, this looks pretty interesting. I should pick this up. It kind of reminded me of like Eco or like Shadow of the Colossus or something, or like maybe The Last Guardian. I don't know. I haven't played that yet. Gonna get to that eventually. But yeah, it was, for an indie game, it was pretty good. I don't really necessarily agree with how they ended it. I was kind of hoping that there would be more and whatever, but overall it was a pretty unique puzzle game. There were some really good sections, like this big labyrinth section that kind of stands out to me. And it revolves around the whole, like, you have 2 characters, each of them have their own strength kind of thing. Like, I think the robot can't jump or something, but the girl can, and she can get into small places the robot can't, and this and that. So you kind of have to balance your dynamic there. And it was a really, really pretty fun game. It just wasn't quite as good as, like, most of the other things I played this year. Like, for me, I should have said at the beginning, but 2019 was, like, a really, really good year in gaming for me. I don't necessarily play all the newest best games, but for me, 2019 was a really good year, and I played a lot of really good games that I really liked. The Girl and the Robot, unfortunately, is just like one of the lesser of like the really pantheon of good games that I played this year, and it's a pretty good game overall, I would say. So, I would say check it out if you like kind of puzzle games, if you like indie games, if you like sort of like Eco or Shadow of the Colossus or something. To bring this closer because I'm gonna need that in a little bit here. All right. It kind of felt like one of those games, like The Last Guardian. That whole, I don't know. I haven't played The Last Guardian yet, but you know what I mean. That those developers, the Eco, I think they're just called Team Eco. So felt like one of those games. All right, at number, oh shoot. Actually, The Girl and the Robot was the next game after these 2 games. So that was number 19. This is that was number 18. These are 20 and 21. These are, I'm just going to put them together because they're basically like the same game. But these are the Yu-Gi-Oh games, the first like 2 really competent like Yu-Gi-Oh games. This one is, backwards here on the camera. This one is Eternal Duel Soul, and this one is the, it's got the stupidest name. It is called Yu-Gi-Oh! Worldwide Edition Stairway to the Destined Duel. So, for the most part, these are, like, the same games. This one is kind of, like, an updated version of this one, and they have, like, a lot of newer cards, and they have some newer characters and stuff. Maybe. I don't even think there were more characters. I think it just had, like, a world map and stuff, which is, like, more interesting. This one just kind of had, like, where you just select your character, and as soon as you duel enough, you can, like, unlock another character. This one had, like, an ending and stuff, which this one didn't have. So yeah, they're both really competent for their time, like duel simulators. If you want to play like old, almost like Goats format, but like a little bit before that. Shoot. So you get to play like all the band cards like Pot of Greed and Graceful Charity and stuff. But if you're gonna play one of these, I would say play Worldwide Stairway Destined Edition. God, just look up the name. Just type in Yu-Gi-Oh! Worldwide Edition Stairway and you'll get it. But play this one because it's basically just an updated version of this one, and it has more cards and like that kind of stuff. So those were pretty good, but you know, they are what they are. They're games from 2004, so that are Yu-Gi-Oh games. So, and then we would have had a girl and the robot. The girl and the robot. So, at number 17, I'll make sure I'm on track here on the list. Okay. Yes, Girl and the Robot would have been number 18. Number 17, we are going to put at. We're going to put this at. We have the Count Lucanor on Switch, which I also did a review for. I think I also reviewed those Yu-Gi-Oh games, by the way, just saying. Count Lucanor, another indie game. I think it was like a UK game. I don't know if it ever actually came out here internationally, but pretty cool game. It's kind of like a horror game crossed with like an old school, like an NES kind of SNES kind of overhead style. It has like puzzles and stuff. It's almost Resident Evil-esque, where you're in like a mansion and you're doing puzzles that like affect other rooms, or you get keys to go to other rooms, and there's like really good characters and stuff. I mean, like not super amazing characters or anything, but I liked the girl who's following, who's there with you like around and stuff, and it has like a lot of different endings and stuff. It's just a really unique kind of indie game on the Switch. I thought it was really a lot of fun and really cool aesthetic, and I think even pretty much the music was pretty good. It has like a unique story, so I would say give it a shot. It's kind of difficult at some points. You might need an online guide or something to kind of help you out, video or something to get through a few of the puzzles, but really would recommend if you're into horror games, if you're into old school retro looking games, if you're into indie games, Count Lucanor, pretty solid overall. So next we have one that I just reviewed. I think this would have been my newest review, would be Doom 2016. Now, I liked this game. I think this game was pretty good overall. I don't think it was as good as a lot of these other games that I'm going to mention here in a little bit. It was a solid reinvention of the Doom styling into like a modern shooter kind of thing. I liked a lot of the old references to the older games. The hell parts were kind of my favorite parts of the game. Check out my review. It's like my newest one. Really liked that one. So, I mean, it was pretty good. I would say it that way. It's pretty good, but I don't know if I would give it like a 10 out of 10. It's like an 8 something, So, pretty good reinvention. We'll see how Doom Eternal does. Alright, number 16. We have Shadow of the Colossus. How many Colossuses are there? Is there 16 Colossuses? Did I unintentionally do that? Are there 16 Colossus? Let me think. I think so. Something like that, right? I didn't do that on purpose. But anyway, so Shadow of the Colossus, that's my number 16, the PS4 version. I played the older version back in the day. I played Eco. I reviewed that this year too. I'd played that before, but I just kind of played that to get back to this. Got to play Last Guardian still. Team Eco did a really good job with this one. It fixes a lot of problems of the PS3 version, the PS2 version, of course, as well. A lot of the tricky jumps and the climbing and stuff is very well fixed. There are still some terrible bosses, like the lake boss, but for the most part, every other boss, I would say, is at least alright, or if not, really good. And I did a really long video on this. That was like my first really, really long video, so go and check that out. It's pretty cool. Alright, coming in at number 15. We have, and I didn't play this version, obviously, it's still sealed, but Spyro Reignited Trilogy, which I am not gonna group as one thing. I am gonna, I already played number 1, but that wasn't this year. I think that was last year, or, I don't know. I didn't really review it or anything. That might have been this year, but number one's good. That would have been my favorite if I was putting it on the list. It's not on the list, so we're just gonna forget about that. I don't remember when I played number one. That's why it's not on the list. So, Spyro Reignited Trilogy. We're doing number two right now. So, game number two was pretty good. I would say it was not quite as good as, well, you're gonna figure it out. It's not quite as good as number three. I said that in my review. Well, I didn't say that in the review of this one, but of the third game, I said that in a review of. So I would say it's a good game. It's not the best of the Spyro games. It's the worst of the three Spyro games. I personally prefer number one, and even number three kind of is not. I mean, it's a really hard between three and one for me of like which one's best. I have a lot of nostalgic attachment to the first game, and I think that the simplistic level design and the worlds being varied were a lot cooler than both of these two games, where they kind of just it was different. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but Spyro 2 was good, but I feel like a lot of the mini games and stuff dragged it down. It just like it wasn't kind of the style of Spyro I wanted to play at the time. It was it's still now. I mean, there's lots less of the platforming and more of like mini games and stuff like that to bog it down. So it just wasn't really as good. I still liked it a lot. I still put it above Shadow of the Colossus, so that's pretty good. But Spyro 2, it has problems, but it's still pretty good overall. Which I know it's most people's favorite, so that's kind of ironic, I know. But, alright, coming in at number... Wait a second, I should probably make sure that I'm still on track here. Alright. Coming in at number... Yep, I already missed one. I knew it! Okay. Alright, fuck me. Alright, so what we're gonna do is... God, I did it again. Alright, so before Spyro 2... I did play a game that I don't actually have a copy of, so this time it's not necessarily my fault. So we'll set that down for now. So number, was it 14? No, Spyro 3. Okay, yeah. Okay, so Spyro 3 was number 13. So at number 14, we had Resident Evil 2, the remake of Resident Evil 2, which I did play. I played the Claire campaign. I watched my friend play the Leon campaign. Yeah, I think that's right. And we kind of played that as a group amongst my friends, and I thought the game was pretty good. I really liked how it remade Resident Evil 2, which was probably, out of the original three, my least favorite, but not in like a bad way. I mean, it was still a really fun game. I still played through it a lot of times. I just always thought 3 was a lot cooler because you were running around the city more and doing more stuff like that, which is really cool. So really excited for the 2020, I mean this year, I guess, remake of Resident Evil 3. We'll see how that turns out. So Resident Evil 2, though, was pretty cool. I think the strongest segments of it are really when you're in the police station getting chased around by Mr. X. I think Mr. X is a good predecessor to Nemesis, so hopefully Nemesis comes across as that same fear the whole game as Mr. X kind of instilled into this game, and I think that would make Resident Evil 3 really good. But Resident Evil 2 is a really faithful remake of the game. I don't think it's like a 10 out of 10 like everyone else seems to. It's a remake of Resident Evil 2, which is cool, and I really appreciate that. But I'm not going to put it at my game of the year like everyone else is fucking doing, so don't sue me in the comments. I don't know. 1 has always been my favorite, and 3, I guess, would be the next favorite out of the original 3. I guess just in general, really. And then maybe 2 would probably be the next one or something. So I like 3 a lot more. Sorry, Resident Evil 2 fans. I know y'all love Resident Evil 2. It's always the 2s, isn't it? Spyro 2, Resident Evil 2. Y'all love 2s. I don't know why, but it's a good game, though. It's really good. And Resident Evil 2, the remake, is actually really good as well. They added a lot of really cool things. Coming in at number 11, I'm pretty sure, we have Duke Nukem 3D, the collection. Number 12. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yep, number 12. Alright. I won't forget the next one, because that's another one where it's like I could forget it. Alright. Duke Nukem 3D World Tour collection. So it's basically all of the Duke Nukem 3D content you've come to know and love, and then they added on, Gearbox added on a whole new chapter or episode or whatever you want to call it on the end, which is like a really cool additional episode. So this is all the Duke Nukem 3D content you'll ever like want or need for the most part. I mean, it doesn't have like all of the other games or mods or whatever, but it's like the original game, all of the four I think episodes, and then it comes with a whole new fifth episode. And it's really well done, and it controls super well. This is like the most definitive console port of Duke Nukem 3D, and I really loved it. I really had a lot of fun with it. One of the cool features was you could rewind when you died to like wherever in the level, just to kind of like speed things up so you didn't have to do a bunch of repetitive shit again, which I greatly appreciated. I think that's a really cool feature that they should put in a lot of remakes. That was really a godsend. So that makes this version of Duke Nukem 3D pretty much the definitive one for me. I got this for like $10. That's a really good thing. All right, coming in at number 11. Now, this is the exception to the rule. This is the one game that I didn't actually finish this year, but I'm putting it on the list anyway, because fuck everyone else. You guys ready for this? Boom! Ring Fit Adventure, motherfuckers. That's right. You're like, John, what the fuck? Why is this above Resident Evil 2 and all of the other ones that is my favorite game? Blah, blah, blah. I'm typing this in the comments. Fuck you. Dude, this game is the sickest game like ever. This is the coolest fucking game. It is. I can't even. Okay, so like. Okay, so like I bought this on a whim, right? Because like my friend was all hyped about it, and I'm like, he's like, I'm gonna get this game, and he like showed me the trailer when it first came out and stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, what's so cool about this game? And then I'm like looking at it, I'm like, all right, this could be fun, you know? Like I have this period of time right now where I have a lot of time to kind of do stuff, and I'm just like, all right, I'll try this Ring Fit thing out. I got it at Target, so I had like $20 of a gift card there. And I bought it, it's typically $80, so I got it for $60. This is worth $60 or $80. I don't care. This is a fitness fucking RPG that like it's the coolest fucking thing ever. This is the funnest way to work out like ever. Like seriously. Here, hold on. So I got those. Obviously I've got the stuff here. You put your little Joy-Con up here, and you do a bunch of stretches, and you can work out your legs and stuff, and like they have all sorts of things. You do all sorts of actually, yeah, there is a thing where you do that. You do all sorts of fucking exercises with this shit. This thing is like the most sturdy fucking thing. I can't even okay. So maybe this isn't like the coolest thing ever. Here, I'll put it here. I forgot about that because I'm just so hyped. All right. Maybe this isn't the coolest thing ever because of like this game. I mean, this game is great and everything, but like I'm just thinking of the potential. I need you guys to go and buy this game right now, because if this flops, I'm just gonna lose my mind. Because think about this, guys. We could get a version of Ring Fit Adventure where you're running along a path. You know, it's not just generic characters or whatever. You're running along a path, catching Pokemon with this, like, you know, you got your Pokemon, you know, you do random battles and stuff. You do battles in this game. This is an RPG. You run along the path. It's a on-rails kind of thing. But you run along the path. What is this? Hold on. Oh, that's not. Okay. You run along the path, and then you run into enemies, and the certain types of workouts, there's like red, blue, yellow. They're all like, one of them works your arms. I think that's red. Blue is like your legs. Yellow is like your midsection, your body, like that. Green is like the yoga poses and stuff. And you do all these things, and each of them corresponds to like one of the enemies. So it's like an elements system. There's elements, just like in Pokemon or whatever. So they could do this. They could make this like into a Pokemon game, like a simplistic kind of Pokemon Go, like on fucking, you know, you have to like actually run. It's like Pokemon Go in your house or whatever. It'd be fucking insane. Like they need to do that. And also Dragon Quest. If they could make this like this into a Dragon Quest game, I would buy the shit out of that game. Like this is the new way to do turn-based RPGs. There's like nothing else. If Dragon Quest 11 was like this, like you could use this, I would be like so fit right now. But I've been playing this like every day because this game is just awesome. And it gives you a really good workout. It's a really solid thing. I'm going to talk about it more when I actually beat the game. I'll do a full review on it then. But I wanted to talk about it now because you guys got to go buy this. Because if Nintendo doesn't think this is selling, then they're not going to ever release this here again. And we're going to get on the ban list for this. And they're going to release it in Japan or whatever. And I'm going to have to have the language and stuff be in Japanese. I mean, I'm sure they'll put an English version of the game. But like, I'll have to go through all that trouble just to get the game or whatever. Fuck it. Come on, guys. Go buy Ring Fit Adventure. It's really good. If you like turn-based RPGs, this is a turn-based RPG. You get to fight enemies. You have, there's clothes like accessories and shit, and they're like your weapons and equipment in RPGs. You get those for doing certain things. You can buy them from the shop, and they have smoothies, which are like recovery items and stuff. And you can make those with stuff you pick up around the game world and stuff, or you can buy ingredients for them and stuff. There's different challenges and stuff that you can do. There's side quests. This is like a 90-hour RPG, I've heard, like from some people. I haven't played through the whole thing yet. I put like, I don't know, tens of hours into it so far, I would assume, because it's just been so much fun. It's just like the greatest way to work out. There's a skill tree! There's a skill tree in this game! Guys, there's a skill tree in here. When you get to level 40, oh, there's hearts. You get, you like when you get to certain levels, you level up, by the way, and there's skill points. And then when you're at level 40, there's like a skill tree. And from what I hear, it actually even expands farther than what I've even seen as a skill tree. It's the craziest shit ever. This is like the coolest fucking game. You gotta buy this shit, guys. You gotta get it. Come on. This can't fail. If this fails, I'm just gonna lose my mind. Because it's so good. And we need more of these. I mean, We Fit and We Fit You sucked. This is the greatest thing right here. This is what working out can be like, guys. Go and get this now at your Target or GameStop or some shit. I don't know. Ring Fit Adventure. It's a 10 out of 10. And it's not a 10 out of 10. I don't know. Okay, I will say, for a fitness game, this is like, if we're just going off of fitness games here, this is a 10 out of 10 fitness game. Absolutely. In terms of games, I'd probably give it like a 9. Like, that's how insanely good this is. You know, a 9 considering its genre or whatever. It's not like a crazy storyline or whatever, but it has likable characters. It's fun. It's a really good game, guys. You gotta go get it. Like, seriously. It's the only fun way to work out. Like, seriously. Alright. It actually gives you a pretty decent workout. So, sorry about that. My little interlude for Ring Fit there. Coming in at number 10. Let me make sure my number 10 is correct. Yes, it is. Alright. Number 10. Beyond the Beyond. Now, this game right here is basically Golden Sun Zero. Like, it's the same team. It's Camelot Studios. This is their first RPG right here, as far as I remember. And this is a really good game. And there's so many things that are like things that you would have seen in the first or second Golden Sun game. Like, seriously, this was their first attempt at Golden Sun. Play this game. It's really good. It's a pretty lengthy game, I would say, but it's not like too long, I would say. But it's a really fun game. I would really recommend it. It's a really good RPG, especially on PS1. It's really underrated, so play it. I bet you'll like it if you like RPGs on PS1. So, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it. I did a review on it. I did a review on all these. So, alright, coming in at number 9, right? Number 9? I'm so paranoid now. Okay, number 9. Da-da-da-da-da-da, Katamari Damacy. Alright. Katamari Damacy Reroll. This is a fantastic game. It is a PS2. It's the remake of the PS2 version on Switch, and I think they have it on PS4 and stuff. I just like the Switch version because it's portable, And I know that version's kind of expensive, and I think it's only going to get more expensive. I thought somebody said this was pretty rare or something, because like nobody bought it on Switch because it never really went down in price. But I bought it on Switch because I'm crazy and I really wanted it. I think I spent like $40 on it or something. I don't know. I thought it was a pretty good deal because it's a really good game. Now it's a really short game, so I beat it all in one sitting. But it's really cool. It's a really unique experience. You roll around stuff. You get to roll around and pick stuff up, and you get bigger and bigger and bigger and pick bigger and bigger stuff up. And it's just such a cool game. There's like a million of these games, so if you really didn't get your time's worth out of this one, you'll get it out of the next one, and the next one, and the next one. You know, eventually you'll get your time's worth. But I would say get it. Maybe on PS4 or something. I think they have it on there. So, reroll, actually really good. Alright, coming in at number 8. I don't know why I'm doing the CMO thing, just because I want to. I don't know. Coming in at number 8. Alright, we have Pokemon Sword and Shield. Now, I know that everyone hates these games, and I don't know why. It's like Rise of Skywalker or something. Everyone fucking hates these games. Whatever. Fuck you guys. These are the best Pokemon games since Gen 3. And I like Gen 3. And I only really found out that I like Gen 3 like 2016 or whatever. I played through these this year. This is actually one of the set of new games that I like are on this list that are actually from this year. But I love these games. 100%ed. Did the whole Pokedex now. I think they're really great. They're really, really user-friendly for Pokemon people who, like, need them for competitive play and stuff. They make shiny hunting a lot easier. I still haven't gotten a shiny yet, but supposedly it's a lot easier because of just everything that they put in there. The breeding system's better. I would say the storyline is short enough to just be enjoyable. Like, a lot of times the Pokemon games that go way overboard, the story itself is so-so. I mean, there's a lot of really good moments near the end, but the middle parts, they just kind of cut you out of like the action and say, hey, go do your gym challenge thing, which is kind of a double-edged sword because that's kind of what people wanted, but then people complain about it and stuff. And then people complain about trees like that don't look good enough or something. The wild area is like the freshest idea for this. This is I keep saying this to people. This is the Breath of the Wild of Zelda. This is the reinvention. The Super Mario Odyssey, supposedly. Haven't played that yet, but I'll get to that eventually. Of Zelda or of Pokemon games, which I agree. And we need this. This is kind of sort of really similar to Breath of the Wild. This is the proof of concept that we can do this. And if the wild area can get better, and maybe we can even have like a few gyms, where we don't have to like do them necessarily in the proper order, and then maybe we'll just scale to whatever level, or like, if whichever ones you do. So like, let's say you do, let's say the last 4 gyms are like this, right? So you do the 4th gym, or I mean the 5th gym, yeah, 5th gym. Let's say the Pokemon are around level 40 or something, all right? So 40, and then if you were to have done the 5th gym that you do 5th, if you do that first, it's level 40. But if you do the 5th gym 5th, then it's level 50 or level 45 or however they want to scale that. Just scale the levels. It's really not that hard, Game Freak. Just do that. So then we have some more freedom. If we had something like that, I think that would be like the perfect Pokemon game. Other than that, just add a little bit to the story and flesh out your characters a little bit more, and you got a golden Pokemon game right there. This is so good. I don't even care that all the Pokemon weren't in it. I kind of care because I have a full living dex, and I'm just like really considering not bringing those over from the old games, just because I can never I could do it again, but it would take like forever to do it again. It would almost just be better to not bring over all those Pokemon if I'm not going to be able to use them all. So it's a double-edged sword. I don't know. I'll figure out what to do with that. But Pokemon Sword and Shield, really good games, really good reinvention of Pokemon, and y'all should play them if you haven't. So coming in, I think, at number 7, right? We at number 7? Yes, sir, number 7. All right. Let's order that up. Number 7. We have Wind Waker. Now, I technically have played this game before in high school, but I have not played the HD version of Wind Waker in high school because that did not exist at the time. because that was years ago. The GameCube version was out then, and I think the newest one was like Twilight Princess or something. So, all right, number 7, we got Wind Waker here. Um, yeah, basically, it's fucking Wind Waker. It's so cool. It's one of the better Zelda games, which is kind of a crazy thing to say because there's so many good Zelda games. Actually, all right, I'll say this. It's like a middle tier Zelda game because the I have a newfound appreciation for it. It is a very good game, but there's so many good Zelda games. It's like impossible not to put it in the middle. It's like you got Ocarina of Time, you got Majora's Mask. I would put Majora's Mask above Ocarina of Time, obviously, but that was the first one that came to my mind. It's the first one that comes to everyone's mind. You got Link Between Worlds. You got fucking God, what was the one I was just thinking of? All of those, all of them. Breath of the Wild, that was a good one. I don't know if I like that more so than Wind Waker or not. I think probably a little bit, but Wind Waker's really good though. The problem with Wind Waker is that its dungeons aren't necessarily the best, but everything else about the game is the best. The sea is amazing. The music is incredible. The feel of combat is really nice. Just exploring everything is crazy. There's so many little secrets. It is a dense area versus a large area that's not very dense like Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild can actually learn a few fucking things from Wind Waker. You need density, not like massiveness, you know? It's quality over quantity, you know? That's how that goes. So, yeah, I would say that Wind Waker is really cool. I love the aesthetic, obviously. Just the feeling of sailing around and searching around for heart pieces and stuff is just so cool. This is such a great game. It's really good. It just has a few problems. Mainly it's dungeons. Everything else is like pretty top notch. So really enjoyed that this year. It really reinvigorated my. I mean not reinvigorate. It gave me a newfound appreciation for that specific Zelda game. Okay, so because I didn't really care for it before. I'd always put it near the bottom of the list, which I mean I don't know, who knows where it would go now. But there's a lot of sort of Zelda games too, so I'm thinking it would go somewhere in the middle of the list. I'll have to do that sometime where I rank all the Zelda games or something. But coming in at number 6. All right, wow, we're already to number 6. Okay, number 6. We have, there's going to be a lot of things here, but there probably could have been more things, honestly, but that's fine. Okay. Number 6, we have Metal Gear Solid 5. Now, I did play this at the beginning of the year, so I kind of had forgotten that Metal Gear Solid 5 was a game that I played this year, but I ended up looking around, and I'm like, oh yeah, I did play Metal Gear Solid 5 this year. So, Metal Gear Solid 5 is a really good, sort of open world take on Metal Gear Solid, but I was gonna, well, hold on, I was gonna kind of mention that I played through all of the other Metal Gear Solids this year or whatever. Here, maybe I can use that for the thumbnail or something. I don't know. I played through all the other Metal Gear Solids this year, and I played through them with my friends this year too, for the most part. So yeah, but. Basically, I had a big old Metal Gear-a-thon this year, and that was really cool, and I really enjoyed doing that. And I have like all the versions of this game too. I even have Ground Zeroes. Like I want to talk about that too. I have the collector edition up there, which you can't see because it's on over there. So yeah, I really, so Metal Gear Solid 5 is a really good open world take on the Metal Gear Solid games. It lacked a bit in the story department, I would say, in terms of it really wasn't very necessary in the story department. But like it is kind of cool. I don't really want to spoil the ending, but it's cool how they did what they did with that to kind of tie it into Metal Gear 1 and 2. The only thing I could say about that is I saw a review somewhere or a thing that said, like, why didn't we get, like, wouldn't it have been cooler if the game would have ended in Metal Gear 1 or something, like right when Snake gets up to the end of that game. That would have been cool if we had seen that moment. Like, that would have been pretty cool. But other than that, there's a lot to do in this game. There's a fuck ton of shit to do in this game. And the one problem I have with the game is that Ground Zeroes is like so much potential of what this game could have been and never actually ended up being. Maybe because it was a bit rushed or something. Because of all the controversy or whatever. We also never got the chapter 3 with Eli and all of that stuff, which would have been really, really cool to have seen. I mean, it's cool to see anyway because of the concept art, and there's like that video about it and whatever that you can look up. But it would have been kind of cool to have seen that, and also the Metal Gear 1 thing. So there's just a few little things I would have really kind of liked to have seen. Kind of like in Before the Storm, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of how it ties to the original Life is Strange. Like, there shouldn't have been such a big gap there, is what I was thinking with Before the Storm. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5, really good. So Ground Zeroes was this like my point was that Ground Zeroes is like this big area where it's open, but you still have goals to do within that area, and it felt really structured. It felt like an old Metal Gear Solid game taken to like an open world concept, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, they should have had just a few of those kind of segments in the game that were kind of mandatory that you had to do in order to finish the game. I would have really liked a few more boss fights. I mean, the Quiet one was really good, and Quiet as a character is just great. I love Quiet, and I liked how you had that buddy system. That was really cool. That was really neat. I could talk about so many things about the game. It was a really cool like stealth experience because you gotta sneak around. If you don't sneak around, you get caught. You're pretty fucked for the most part. You can usually get out of there, but it's like you still. I did all the side stuff too, which is like pretty crazy. There's a lot of stuff to do in this game. It takes so many hours. I think I was like, I don't know. I think it was a little bit beyond 200. I think it was 230 hours or something by the time I finished the fucking game. It is massive, and it took forever to do it. And I'm the kind of guy who sits down and plays the whole thing. I do the all at once, and so I was playing this for months. I think I'm pretty sure, right? It had to be months. It was like 3 months. I put in 230 hours. It was insane, but it's a really good game. It just kind of was a little underwhelming in the story department, but there wasn't really a lot they could have done there anyway, so it's just like, I don't know. It has a lot of story to flesh out stuff. It's a lot better than Peace Walker and to some extent Portable Ops. I mean, I like Portable Ops a lot, but this is definitely probably the better game overall, I would say. But it's one of the lesser Metal Gear games, but I really still enjoy it a lot more than a lot of people who really hate this game for some reason. I don't know. There's some missed potential, which I'll give people, but whatever. I still really liked it a lot. So, okay, coming in at number... Okay, I gotta be careful with this, because there's... Yeah, there's still 5 games here, but I don't know what order they're in. Okay. Yep, I thought so. Okay, coming in at number 5. Here's my top 5 games of the 2019. And this actually counts as a game that came out in 2019, sort of. So we have Catherine Full Body. I'm just going to have to hold this one. So Catherine Full Body, as I have the collector edition. Actually, let's just get out the game. I don't want to hold this thing the whole time. Catherine Full Body is a remake of Catherine, the PS3 game. So that was last generation. Which arguably didn't need to happen, really. I mean, Catherine was still a pretty great game, as is on the PS3. They made like an easy mode where it's like super easy, which is kind of You know, like I did play that through the original time. I thought that was gonna be just the easy mode from back in the day, which is actually the normal mode now. But easy mode is just like so very easy. And then normal mode is now the easy mode from back in the day. So I would really recommend that one to people starting out. But, you know, if you picked normal back in the day, you were playing the hard mode. And I never even made it through normal back in the day because it was really ridiculous. This game is like a puzzle game where you climb a tower and you rearrange blocks kind of climb this tower, and that's a really cool aspect of it. But really, the big draw is the story segments. Um, it's kind of Persona-esque in the it's like a love story where you get to choose who you want to end up with or whatever. There's two Catherines. There's three Catherines. Sorry, whatever. Fuck you people haven't played it yet. You should play Full Body. Just go and play it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to spoil it for you, but there's three Catherines, of course. Why? How do you play Catherine and then not have all three love interests be called Catherine? Come on, you know that she's a Catherine. Anyway, so yeah, there's three Catherines. But anyway, uh, all of the storylines in here are great. The new Catherine's storyline is great until the end. The ending of her story is very unnecessary and very dumb, and it just need to happen. So I really didn't like that part, but that was about the only thing I really didn't like about it. I did most of the endings. I ran through this game like 2 or 3 times recently. I'd never done the Catherine ending. I always went with Catherine just because I really thought that was the best ending. But I met this guy this one time that insisted the Catherine ending was the canon ending, and wouldn't budge on that. And I'm just like, are you stupid? Like, clearly this isn't the way that they intended this game to go. But you know, like, that is what it is. But the new storyline stuff is really well done and really well implemented. I like it a lot. Catherine Full Body is great. So yeah, go play that. You don't have to get the big edition that I did, but I can't imagine it's too expensive now. I don't think anybody cares. Oh, my point was, do we really need this? Because they could have just remade Persona 3, which, you know, that would have been a lot better. But because we really need a remake of that game by this time. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you're wondering, I'm probably not going to make a video about it, but my game of the decade is Persona 4 Golden, other than Chie's stupid voice, because it's the only game from this decade, I think, that's on my, well, other than Life is Strange, but I don't know. I put Persona 4 Golden as my game of the decade, because it's number 4 on my list of favorite games. So, there you go. Coming in at number 4, I guess. Yeah, number 4. We have Spyro 3 on the Reignited Trilogy. Now, Spyro 3 is a really good game. It is a lot better than Spyro 2. It is one of the best platformers of its era, of the PS1 era, especially. I mean, the PS1 era, that's kind of hard to say. I would still put it up there as one of the best. I wouldn't say it is the best, necessarily. I could potentially say it's the best. I mean, I like the first one better, but I think that this is the better game. And also, I mean, you know, you have the N64 stuff to contest with. That's all I'm thinking is, like, you know, you got Banjo-Kazooie and those kind of games. Conker's Bad Fur Day, which is a pretty good game. I don't know, though. I really like this game. I thought it was pretty much awesome all the way through. I 100%ed it. I thought that was... I just think it's the best of the Spyro trilogy, other than maybe 1. I like personally prefer 1, but I think if we're going best of the trilogy here, that's my best. I don't know. I did a whole really long review on it, so go watch that. It's really good. You should play Spyro, all of them. So buy the trilogy. It can't be that expensive now. Alright, coming in at number 3. We have Dark Souls. Did I make a video on this one? I don't remember. Anyway, I'm going to look, but while we're looking, I'm going to talk about it. So Dark Souls is a really crazy game that I have been trying to play for years because I played Demon Souls the other year, and I didn't really ever get to Dark Souls because I'm like, well, how's this ever going to be as good as Demon Souls, you know? But I just, I don't know. I never... Okay, it doesn't look like I did a video on it. I did a Facebook review on it, but I didn't do a video on it. Okay. So, Yeah, I don't know. I played Demon Souls. I've been playing that pretty much kind of, I don't know, probably not since it came out, but I always had kind of a responsibility to play this game because all my friends loved this game or whatever. And I was always just kind of like, oh, whatever. I mean, how good could it be? It can't be that great. It sounds really hard. I just don't have time for it or whatever. But I'm glad I finally eventually put in the effort because I think that this is like the perfect sort of open world sort of game. I mean, it's not really open world, but it is open world in a sense that it allows you to go and do the adventure at your own pace, which is really cool. You could take multiple different directions and a lot of segments of the adventure, and I think that that's really cool. It's not necessarily always going to be easy for you. It's never going to be easy for you, but if you take a way that wasn't intended, then that's your challenge is to take on that path. And if you want to keep going, then great. I mean, that's you're gonna maybe find some good weapons and armor and stuff to get through, and maybe you'll find a dead end. But I mean, it'll still be cool that you went that way, and maybe you'll have set up some paths or something that you can kind of remember and get through again easier once you're more stronger or something. But I think my point is I think that open world games now they really I hate how I mean I've gotten more accustomed to it, but I just hate how so many games now are just like, oh, we're open world, look, you can go anywhere and do anything, and then it's like, okay, well, do I want that though? I mean, like, give me a thing to do. I prefer open but linear in a sense. Like, you have a direct path in mind, but also, like, because here's the thing about, let's talk about Dragon Quest XI for a second. So Dragon Quest XI versus Dragon Quest VIII. So Dragon Quest VIII, there's a really defined kind of, I mean, there is an 11 too, but there's a really defined kind of path that you should go down, but they give you a lot of space to run around and play in and kind of explore and stuff, which is really cool. Whereas Dragon Quest XI so far, I just got the ship, so I mean maybe once I get, but I've seen the whole world map. I just think it's kind of like one thing as far as I know. I mean, I don't know yet. I mean, I'm just spitballing here by what I know. It says world map, so I assume that's the whole world. It feels a lot more like the first three Dragon Quest games, which is really what it's kind of referencing the whole time, but Dragon Quest VIII was a world where it was a big world, but there was like 5, 6, 7, 8 different like really big regions that you would go to. It was crazy, and they all felt really unique and dense, and like there's secrets all over the place. There was stuff to go in little treasure chests. There was the infamous monsters. The overworld in Dragon Quest XI is just filled with monsters and some treasures that don't feel as necessary to go and pick up. My point with that is Dragon Quest VIII did it better in a sense because it was still an open world, but they not an open world, but it was still more open, and they made it in such a sense that there's still a linear path that you kind of need to go on, but there's a lot to explore in each chunk of the game. That's what Dark Souls does. That's my point of all of this. In Dragon Quest XI feels more like the modern open world game where it's just like, okay, you can run around, but there's not really going to be that much to like explore. It just kind of feels like a waste of time, you know what I mean? Even in Breath of the Wild, it's like, oh, okay, you can get the Koroks, but you only need like 200 of them, and then the other 700 are worthless. Like, I don't know. It's just dumb. You can get them, you get a big piece of shit for doing it, so like, is it worth it? No, it's not. So, but Dark Souls, I keep getting sidetracked. Dark Souls is really good because it's not necessarily, everyone builds it up like it's this really hard game. It's not necessarily hard. It's just you need to really invest the time to get good at the game. And maybe that's the definition of hard. I've never really had like a this is hard moment in any game other than like some NES games. But it really kind of feels like a lot of those old NES games where it's like you need to figure out the exact pattern or a pattern that works because you can still do it in a lot of ways, which is nice. There's customizability, and but you can but there's always sort of a thing that you kind of need to do, or a certain amount of ways to do it. There's a lot of different ways you can do a thing, but there's usually one way that it can be done best. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. You have to study the patterns and stuff. That's what old NES games were about too. So it just feels like that in a modern day, and I really wish they would make more games like that. Maybe I don't, because then Sekiro's probably like that, and I don't want anything to do with that game because it just feel like it would like break me. But I thought the same thing about Dark Souls, so I don't know. But I've heard that game's like actually hard, so I didn't think Dark Souls was that hard. I thought the areas were really unique. I loved the world. I thought it was just like really well done, like the whole thing. Very very good. The Switch version stutters a bit here and there, and you get a few flaws, but whatever. It's still pretty good. It didn't really negatively affect my experience of playing the game. So, other than like, I don't know, they probably even fixed Blighttown a little bit, but I've always heard that that's been pretty infamous for stuttering and whatnot. So, but it's a really cool game. You should definitely check it out if you haven't. This version is cool if you like portability, but I would assume that the PS4 versions and stuff look better. So I don't know, or you could play it on PC if you're one of those people. So, all right, coming in at number 2. I'm really excited to talk about these games. I don't know what I'm gonna say about them, but this is a shock to me. Like, if you told me in 2019, last year, that 2 of the games that were going to be the highest rated games of this year were games that led up to Super Mario Odyssey, I would have laughed at your face and said 3D Mario games and all the other Mario games are shit games and they suck and they're bad and they're all really dumb. And maybe not, because I thought Sunshine was okay. I would say they're probably all just okay, right? Like, fuck you, or whatever. But I was wrong. First of all, I played Super Mario Superstar Saga back in the day. I really enjoyed that game. I didn't really know that there were RPGs before that. I knew about Paper Mario, but I still haven't played that yet. I still want to get to that eventually. But I was very shocked and surprised to discover that actually the best Mario RPG was the first Mario RPG, Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars. It's the perfect Mario game. Up until I played a different Mario game a few months later. So I thought this was the best Mario game that I had played at the time, and I still stand by that this is the second best Mario game, maybe the first on a good day, because this game is awesome. I love this game so much. I never thought I was gonna like it so much. I really just I was the only reason I had any interest in playing this game is I wanted to get to the forest part for that music, because I wanted to understand the context of that, because that music is just so really good in the forest. But all the music is really good. It's all really good. The characters obviously are Mario characters, and it's like it feels like the Mario world, but it feels like an earlier version of Superstar Saga almost. It has like those same elements, and it's like a platformer combined with like a Mario RPG, which is like insane. I mean, I don't know why I'm telling you guys. You probably guys have played this game before. If not, go and play it because it's awesome. Yeah, I mean, just like all of this stuff is themed around Mario. Like, it's kind of like Ring Fit Adventure, where like all this stuff is like themed around working out, but this is like all themed around Mario. So you have like hammers and stuff as your items, and you can like jump on people. And Gino's fucking awesome. I had him on my team the whole time. And Princess Peach is really cool. Like, she's never very useful in anything, you know? Like, she was awesome in this game. She's like a healer and shit. She's not the damsel in distress for once. Like, fuck, man. Like, the bosses in this game are crazy. I love the whole thing. The world is just so well imagined. The graphical styling is just like amazing. It's just like there's like, the level cap is like level 30 or something. Like, it's so like, what? Like it's that short of a game? The level cap is level 30? Like, this is all the longer you need. It's kind of like that Final Fantasy Mystic Quest mentality, although that game sucks. This game is the best version of that, where it's just like, it doesn't even take you that long, and if you want to do everything, it's going to take you a lot longer, but like, it's so compact, but also expansive enough. It's the Dark Souls mentality again, and all of those things that I've been talking about. It's density over, the quantity of land. It's density, there's a lot to do in a small space, and there's so many great things in this game, and it all comes together into one really charming package. The storyline is really awesome and hilarious, and there's a few flaws. I mean, did I do a review on this game? Oh god, again, did I do a review on this game? I don't think I did, honestly. But I think this is right before I started doing... Yeah, it is. Right before I started doing reviews this year. But anyway, damn, man, I love this game so much. This is like one of the best Mario things ever. Like, the music is so solid. I know I keep saying that, but it's like, it's just incredible. I didn't think like Mario anything was like really that great. Okay, to rephrase, I like Mario World a lot. I think that's my favorite Mario game, third favorite now. After this, and then like Mario Brothers 3 and all those are fine. I didn't really care as much for Super Mario 64. I wish they would kind of remake that game, because I think that game could be really cool remade. I'd really like to, if they could remake it like A Hat in Time or something, give it those controls, then it would be super, super good. But they're not going to do that, so, because they don't like money. I guess everyone would play that. They would all play it, but I know in Super Mario Odyssey they like put some of that in there, but it's like they didn't remake all the levels or whatever. They should just remake all the levels, add new levels, not on the DS. Nobody wants that. Get that out of here. It's like the Zelda games. Like, why are they on the DS or 3DS, Like, come on, put these... At the time, it made sense, right? It was great. There's great versions of the N64 Zelda games and Star Fox and all that. Put those on the Switch. What the fuck? I don't know how you're going to do it, but you need to put them on the Switch. This is why you backed yourself into a corner. They should have been on the goddamn Wii U. I don't know. You figure it out, Nintendo, not me. It'll just print money. So, Super Mario RPG, really good. You can get it on the SNES Classic if you can find one of those, or just emulate it. It's super fucking good. You gotta play this. You gotta play this. Play this game. It's one of the best RPGs, like, ever. It'd be in my top 5 RPGs, and that's a high bar, because Persona 4, Dragon Quest 8, I don't know. There's a few others. I can think of some others if I had some time. Alright. Coming in at number 1. I don't think it's any surprise at this point, because I had to spoil it for the last one. I played a game this year that made me think differently about Mario, which is, like, insane. I never thought Mario was all that great. I thought he was really overhyped. I thought he was a piece of shit because Zelda was always better. Zelda is still better. But, again, I don't think Mario... This is the whole reason. This is it. This is right here. This game is the reason why I don't think Mario Odyssey can be as good as everyone is saying it is. Because there was a game before Mario Odyssey that was better. Boom! We're talking about Super Mario Galaxy. That's my game of the year. I'm as surprised as anybody else. I mean, out of all the games that I played this year, it was just the best one. That's it. But there's so many good games there that I played this year. But Super Mario Galaxy was the best one because it made me rethink my thoughts about, like, 3D Mario games. I'd played 64, and I thought, oh, well, this isn't as good as everyone said, and it's aged really badly. I played Sunshine. I thought, okay, this is fine, but why do we need this flood pack thing? Can't we just play a Mario game, like something kind of like Mario 64, except new? And then I'm like, okay, well, how can Galaxy be good? What is Galaxy going to do? It's going to have motion controls or something to be really bad. And guess what? The motion controls are actually really fucking good. It's actually good. You use them to point and do stuff, but it works. It's not bad. It doesn't not work. Sometimes it's a little sketchy and gimmicky, but it works for the most part. It's no Skyward Sword where it's not gonna not. It's like, it just works. It just works. You do the thing and you do it right. It works. It just works. But like seriously, there's like so many different varied like worlds in these galaxies. There's like I don't know how many galaxies. I like 100% of the game other than getting uh some kind of what was it, like the purple coins or something like at the end. It's like some stupid challenge I didn't want to do. I didn't feel like doing. It's like post game, like you have to do it post game, and I'm just like, I'm not doing this. I already sunk like like 60 hours or whatever the fucking in this game, and I don't want to do this. I got all the real stars. Who cares about the other ones? Like, I don't care about unlocking Luigi. Like, I like Luigi. He's cool. Luigi's Mansion is a great game, but I didn't care about that. I'm not going to play through the game again as Luigi. Maybe someday. I mean, I really do like the game. Obviously, it's my game of the year, but it's not a game I'm going to sit down and complete again anytime soon. I mean, I have my completed save file sitting around in case I really want it, but it's a really tough decision because I really like Super Mario RPG. These are really kind of interchangeable, but I just think Super Mario Galaxy probably gets my stamp of approval. The music's really good. Like I said, there's a lot of varied worlds and stuff, which is just really cool. There's a lot of cool things you can do, just like kind of with the gimmick of, going to the different like little balls and worlds and all that. I'm excited for the second one. I hear it's just kind of DLC for this one, which is cool. But yeah, I mean, I think overall Super Mario Galaxy is a really good game, and I recommend that you play it because it's really fucking good. It's probably one of the best platformers I played in general. It seems kind of hard to say like between it would make at least the top 10, let's put it that way, or maybe even top 5. Um, for me personally, I think A Hat in Time is like one of the best ones. I'd have to reevaluate to see if I still think it's the best one, but I gave it a 10 when I originally played it because I just thought it was really good. I don't know if I significantly would do that again. I don't know if I said significantly. I don't know if I would do that. I don't know if I would do that again necessarily. I'll have to replay it and kind of reevaluate, but it is a really good love letter to old platformers. This game too is, but more GameCube era with that in time though. But anyway, that's off track. So Super Mario Galaxy kind of reinvigorated my interest in 3D Marios. I didn't really think I was gonna be interested in 3D Marios, and this made me actually be interested in 3D Marios, which I think is really cool. So I'm really glad for that. Like it made me think differently about a thing that I thought couldn't possibly be good. Like I don't know why. I just kind of assumed that since it was on the Wii, there was gonna be motion controls. I didn't like Super Mario 64 that much. It was fine, whatever. Sunshine was fine as well, but this game is just like it blew me out of the water. It was just really crazy. Um, I don't know. I don't even remember what I gave it in the review. It'd probably be near a 10. I don't know if I'd give it a 10. It could potentially have that. There were some problems. There were a few levels that were just kind of, ugh. Like some of the ones where you have to like grab the star things at the proper time and all that were just like a pain in the ass. Um, but yeah, I mean, overall, I would say it was a really good game, and I guess it would have to be my game of the year for 2019 that I played this year. So, yeah, I mean, here's for 2020, right? I mean, I could have played a lot more games this year, but also I just didn't really have the time to. So, hopefully Dragon Quest, I mean, I think Dragon Quest 11 will definitely make it pretty high in my 2020 list. I'll do this again next year if I'm still doing videos. I would assume I'm going to still be doing videos every time I complete a game. I like doing this more so for myself. I know a few people like are watching or whatever, but I like to look back at my own reviews and see what I thought of these games. And 2019 overall was a pretty great year, I would say, in gaming, for myself anyway, of the games that I played this year. So, yeah, you should play all of these if all of them. I don't know. You should play most of these go check out my reviews and see if you're interested in like any of these, and definitely pick them up. A lot of these aren't very expensive games, and a lot of these are older games, so they're really not that expensive. Uh, it's a good question. I don't know which would be the most expensive. We'll probably... Oh, wow. Well, technically, maybe Ring Fit Adventure, because that's $80. Super Mario RPG's pretty expensive still, I'm pretty sure. Um, Pokemon's full price, but I don't think that would constitute the most expensive. Twin Snakes is pretty expensive too. I wouldn't recommend playing that one though. Just play Metal Gear Solid 1. I think you can get away with just playing Metal Gear Solid 1. I recommend if you haven't played the Metal Gear games. I did test them on two of my friends this year, and they really enjoyed most of them. So I would definitely recommend going through that series because it apparently still holds up very well. I say it would still hold up fairly well, but some of the gameplay things bothered them, which I never really, had that much of a problem with because I've been playing them since when they came out. So, for the most part, I mean, but yeah, I don't know. This has been a really good year for me playing games. So I've come so far, and I've in the end it didn't even matter. No, it does matter. It all matters. Um, so yeah, I beat 20. What is it? 21 games this year? 20 games. 21? How many? Let's see. Let's look at the list again. Yeah, 21 games this year. I beat 21 games this year. That's pretty good, I would say, overall. I don't know how it compares to other years. I kind of probably could have beat more. Honestly, some of these were fucking long-ass games. So, you know, I am curious how it would compare to other years. But anyway, I mean, we'll see how it compares to next year. We'll just recap again next year, or this year, at the end of this year. And probably the 1 year from now, on like the second or something, I'll make a video again. But, yeah, so this has been JZNES saying keep it classic, and stick around for 2020. There will be more reviews and underrated games, and I'll see you guys in the next one. JZ out.